At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of bike you ride. It doesn't matter how often you ride. It doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't actually even matter if you ride a bike at all. What matters is that you want to make positive change to your body and the way you think about your body and the way you feel about your body. And if you want to do that, you are 100% in the right place. Welcome to the Biking Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Smith, and I lost 50 pounds riding my bike by focusing on what my body can do. Now, I teach other women how to do the same. I am obsessed with completely flipping the script on weight loss so that we can work out to feel good and feel strong. If you are ready to stop dieting, learn how to appreciate your body, and have fun riding your bike, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to episode 1 of the Biking Wellness Podcast. I am so happy you're here. I am so grateful that you hit play, and I am so excited for us to start this biking wellness journey together. This podcast is for all women who ride bikes and women who want to be stronger, who want to be more fit, women who want to lose weight, or literally any combination of those things. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of bike you ride. It doesn't matter how often you ride. It doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't actually even matter if you ride a bike at all. What matters is that you want to make positive change to your body and the way you think about your body and the way you feel about your body. And if you want to do that, you are 100% in the right place. There will absolutely be something in this podcast for you. I'm going to be really bold here. Biking wellness is a movement, and this is why I'm starting this podcast. I am a woman who struggled with her body image, with her weight, with losing weight, with motivating to exercise, literally for decades. But I have finally figured out how to get the results I want, how to feel good, and I know that I'm not alone in my struggles. So I want to help you feel good about your body. I want to help you get the results you want. And women all around the world are waking up every single day and looking in the mirror and tearing themselves apart. And the only way that we are going to stop doing this to ourselves and honestly to each other is if we really start to flip the script on weight loss, on dieting, and on what it means to be strong and fit and healthy and feel good. You know, we've been trying on clothes and wondering why they don't fit. We've been wondering, how did we actually manage to gain weight again? Why our jeans are so tight? And why we can't find any kind of workout routine or exercise that we can stick with and that we can solve this problem of being bigger than we want to be. And not only that, but we also are constantly comparing ourselves with each other. We're comparing ourselves to other women who ride bikes. We're wondering why we aren't as fast. We're wondering why we aren't as strong. We're wondering why we feel like we look silly on a bike and they look so awesome on a bike. At least I know that I did this, and I did this for years, not just with biking, but with everything related to my body, related to my fitness, related to my strength. And what I've realized is that it just isn't useful. And I know that if you've ever done this too, you are absolutely 100% in the right place. So here is what you can expect from the Biking Wellness Podcast every week. Every single episode is designed to give you simple, actionable steps to help you figure out how to make a positive change through biking by focusing on what your body can do instead of thinking about what it looks like. Sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? So I want you to just understand that we're going to talk about how awesome it is to ride a bike and have fun moving our bodies again. We are going to find the fun in this podcast because here's the deal. If movement isn't fun, we aren't going to be able to stick with it. We're going to feel miserable and it's going to suck and we're going to stop. And so we are absolutely going to find the fun in moving our bodies again. Like, do you remember being a kid? And do you remember how awesome it was to just move? To run outside and climb trees and play tag and, ride your bike. Well, this is all about rediscovering that fun and just really enjoying it for the literal sport of it, not because movement is supposed to be this way to make us lose weight or improve our bodies or anything like that, but just really having fun. Riding your bike around the neighborhood, taking every opportunity to fly down a hill on your one-speed Huffy with your feet off the pedals, yelling, "wee." I know that you remember that feeling. Even if it wasn't biking for you, there was some way that you moved your body when you were younger that actually felt good. And that's what this is all about. We are going to rediscover that love. Because if you feel like you're working all of the time and you are losing the fun, then like I said, you're going to quit. You're going to give up. And biking wellness is all about having fun and making it fun to move our bodies again. What I want to talk about next is what wellness really means. And so it has nothing to do with the number on the scale. I know that many of you have found me in order to lose weight, and I have lost 50 pounds riding my bike. So I get it. I understand that desire to lose weight. I understand that desire to fit in your clothes better. I understand that desire to look in the mirror and actually like what you see. But that's not what wellness really is. It really isn't physically what is happening and going on with you. What wellness is what you are thinking about what's happening and what's going on with your body in the mirror right now. So if you follow this podcast, if you listen to this podcast, if you implement the parts that I teach that make sense to you, you absolutely will lose weight riding your bike. And I know you want that. And please, let me be the first to tell you that if you haven't heard it yet, there is nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight riding your bike. You can appreciate your body, you can want to love it, and also change it at the same time. The thing is, though, losing weight can't be the only reason you want to ride, or even really the primary focus, because it's not going to be a good enough reason to get you on your bike when you really don't feel like it. And it's not going to be a good enough reason to avoid diving face first into the pantry, into a bag of Doritos after a really hard, long day at work, long day taking care of the kids, when we've had a lot of stress in our lives and we have been in the habit for years. Like at least I know I certainly was in the habit for years of pretty much using food as a way to decompress, using food as a way to feel better. When we are in that habit, wanting to lose weight is not going to be a good enough reason in order to help us actually make the decisions that are going to bring us closer to making our goals. So biking wellness really means like feeling good. It means feeling strong. It means getting up those hills or getting that personal record on the Peloton. It means doing something with your body that makes you feel good, that makes you feel strong, that makes you feel accomplished. It's having the energy to do all of the things in your life that you want to do and not feeling so darn tired all the time. It's making choices about what you eat that feel good in your body and give you energy as well. So when we talk about wellness, we aren't just talking about weight loss. And I think that that is a really incredibly important thing for us to all realize together, that if we want to lose weight, like really truly want to lose weight, if we really truly want to have the body that we feel that we've always wanted to have physically, then we need to stop thinking of all of the ways that we move our body and all of the decisions that we make as a means to lose weight, because it just doesn't work. Which brings me to the next point, which is basically all about why diets suck and why diets have never worked for any of us, and why here at the Biking Wellness Podcast, we don't diet. We make changes with our nutrition, with our food choices, but we don't diet. They just don't work. So we're going to talk about how diets suck. We're going to talk about how they don't work on the Biking Wellness podcast and how to actually lose weight for the last time. Because if you're anything like me, you've been in a cycle of gaining and losing weight your whole life. And that just doesn't work. We've all been sold this bill of goods by the diet industry. Like, do you guys remember that fat-free butter chemical spray that we used to put on our popcorn and somehow try to convince ourselves that it tasted good? I think it actually still exists today. But basically, what I'm getting at is that every diet tells us if we just follow their plan, if we just follow their rules, then we will lose weight. And here's the thing, if you start a diet, if you follow the plan, if you follow the rules, there's actually a really good chance you'll lose weight. Because in the beginning, you're really motivated. Because in the beginning, you're really looking for the answer. And you're going to do all of the things that you tell them to do, or they tell you to do, even if you know that those things might not necessarily be the right things. Most diets that are really popular are designed to get really quick results because they know that your motivation is only going to last for so long. But what the diet industry doesn't teach us is that real sustainable weight loss, my friends, takes time. It just does. And so if you get those quick results doing things that you don't normally do, and you end up losing weight and gaining weight back, that diet did not work for you. All it did was teach you how to follow someone else's formula without paying attention to your body and what works for you, without thinking about what you like, without thinking about what you want to eat, without considering the foods that feel good and taste good in your body, without thinking about exercise as a means to feel strong and feel good about yourself, as opposed to a means to lose weight. So here in the Biking Wellness podcast, we talk about how to use our own brain to make our own plan for our own wellness, because that's what real, true wellness is. It's a plan that we're able to do and willing to do long term, because temporary changes only give us temporary results. And we are not in this for temporary results. We are not in this for temporary change. We want to lose weight, and we want to lose weight for the last time. And in order to do that, we need to make changes that we are willing to live with for the rest of our lives. And so it's so important to learn how to make your own plan. I don't know about you, but I remember going through like Women's World magazine in like the 80s and the 90s, and I would see, these meal plans in the magazine, and they would promise that if I followed this meal plan, I would lose weight. And I'd look at the meal plan and I'd say, oh my gosh, like I don't really like cheese, and all this stuff has cheese in it, and I don't eat anything that comes out of the ocean, and there's a ton of fish. And so when you are using someone else's plan to lose weight and you're following their guidelines, when you're cutting out carbs and you love pizza and that cauliflower pizza crust just isn't doing it for you, those are going to be temporary changes that get you temporary results. Because at the end of the day, when you've had a really bad day and you are just done, and you have throughout your life, like me, been in the habit of emotionally eating either when things go really well or things go really bad, because who doesn't like to celebrate with some ice cream, right? When you're in the habit of doing that, then you try one of these fad diets. What ultimately ends up happening is the diet does not teach you how to handle the situation where you just don't know how to manage your emotions. And when we don't know how to manage our emotions, we are so much more likely to overeat. So that ultimately, my friends, is what we are trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid ignoring our emotions and ignoring our feelings and causing them to make us feel like we either deserve a treat or that we just want to be numb and feel like we couldn't possibly get on our bikes today because, we just had such a long, hard day. So this podcast is all about acknowledging those feelings. It's all about acknowledging that we might not want to always do the things that feel good. It's about being incredibly honest with ourselves about what does and doesn't work, and coming up with a plan that works for our own individual needs, schedules, desires to lose our weight biking for the last time. So here's the thing. I've been thinking about and ruminating over and planning this podcast literally for years. In fact, I actually went back through my biking wellness Facebook group just to see when I first started talking about creating a podcast. And it was all the way back in January of 2022. So for 3 years, I have been thinking about this and wanting to bring this to you because I knew that there was a better way to connect with everyone in this community and a better way to help you all feel good and feel strong about your bodies. And so, you know what? I wanted to get it just right. I wanted to be the right time. I wanted to make sure that I had the perfect situation to record. This isn't the perfect situation to record. Downstairs, my husband's riding his bike. There might be background noise, but the bottom line is I waited so long to start this podcast because I felt like it had to be perfect. And so if you have been waiting for the perfect time to move your body, if you have been waiting for the perfect time to ride your bike, if you've been waiting for the perfect time to lose weight, to make changes with your body, I just want you to know that I decided at the end of the day just to get this out there into the universe, press play, record so that I could help you lose your weight biking for the last time. I don't want you to keep waiting to start like I was waiting to start my podcast. The perfect time is never going to come. The perfect time, the time to start is right now. Honestly, when you start under the worst conditions to try to move your body, to try to lose weight, you are giving yourself the opportunity to figure out how to overcome whatever it is in the universe that you feel like is getting in your way. So if you're ready to make small, doable changes together, I've got you. We are in this together. And the time to start is now. We are going to start together. You are going to be able to jump into feeling good about yourself and your body because I'm telling you, nothing physically about your body needs to change in order for you to feel good about everything that it can do right now. So I can't wait to continue with this podcast. I can't wait to bring you more episodes. If you enjoyed this one, please, please, please make sure that you follow the Biking Wellness Podcast so you never miss an episode. If this episode resonated with you, please consider leaving a review. This is what helps other women just like you find the show. Please rate the podcast. And better yet, honestly, share this podcast with a friend. Share this podcast with someone you know needs to hear this message today. So let's do this. Let's start. Let's continue. Let's move forward on our biking wellness journey together. Ride on, my friends, and I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Biking Wellness Podcast. Be sure to head on over to sassy.com/guide, SASCY.com/guide, to get my completely free Lose Weight Biking Quick Start Guide so that you can get started with simple, doable weight loss today. That's SASCY.com/guide.